Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Anime Club, where Nick Nack psychoanalyzes anything that's wrong with my ears.
I don't think that's called psychoanalyzing. There's a bit of a difference.
Nick Nack analyzes anything wrong with my ears.
There we go.
Nick Nack has an analysis. What does Nick Nack have to say today?
Nick Nack argues not guilty. Nick Nack argues Nick Nack was defending Realm's honor.
Objection! Realm has no honor.
Thank you for defending my non-existent honor.
Exactly. Ha! The defendant admitted it.
The defendant is not in a good state of mind to speak for him.
Your Honor, I move that any statement the defendant makes is valid. He knew what he was saying. I feel like I'm gesturing towards Vorn as like Your Honor, but like
Vorn is the indifferent judge in this scenario.
Okay, all right. Back to Overlord. Final thoughts. You know what we feel, our deep inner feels.
Don't make me let out my deep inner feelings. They will not be pleasant.
I guess I'll start. I guess I'll start with the recommendations. I'm not entirely sure I have a whole lot of recommendations based off of this. Okay, then you can go first because I know I have a few.
I've got mainly two. They're not similar in tone, but in that, but they do they work as sort of polar opposites of Overlord. Slime and Spider. Like at first blush, they don't appear to be similar, but when you look at the protagonist becomes comically overpowered and dominates this world kind of thing. Like Slime is basically a happy face version of what happens in Overlord, and Spider is a bit more of a middle ground in between the two. So I feel like if you're going from Overlord, you're looking for that general idea of an overpowered main character dominating the world. Those two are probably the closest recommendations I have for the current anime scene.
So I do have a few, but it's more based on the MMORPG setting element. So that's what my suggestions are going to be based on. So I mean, the most obvious one is of course Sword Art Online. And like I said, this is based on setting element, not story. So you can't say no, it's not like that when I'm saying setting is what's similar.
I mean, we can debate on how good the story actually is compared.
I'm not talking about the story quality, or I wouldn't suggest Sword Art Online ever.
I'd also argue every Isekai ever is kind of
No,
got that MMO thing going for it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to suggest every MMO. I have a few specific suggestions.
I don't know. You've done that before.
What? Shut the fuck up! Or I will read out every one of them. So, in terms of fucking God. In terms of my suggestions, I'd say a few of these are manga and a few are anime now, but I'd probably say, so I really like One Half Prince, which has a kind of similar, especially in the later chapters. It's very similar in a lot of ways. And then Log Horizon's a pretty good MMO where they're kind of trapped in, or they end up in the world after it closes, that kind of thing. I wouldn't suggest something like Bofuri because they're logging in and out, that kind of thing. It's not the same thing.
Isekai.
Well, no, I'm not necessarily suggesting Isekai though. Entirely. You know, I'm trying to go with like some level of similarity. Or like, I mean, I really like King's Avatar, but King's Avatar covers more of the actual like in-world gaming elements, not the RPG elements. And then Hardcore Leveling Warrior it's a webtoon actually, and it's pretty good, I'd say. Similar type of setting. I really enjoyed it. There's a couple more that I know I'd like to suggest, but they're Chinese manhwa, and I don't actually know the names of them off the top of my head because they've never been made into anime because they were never really that popular, kind of like One Half Prince. But I mean, there's a fair amount of kind of either isekai or non-isekais that have an MMORPG setting where the characters are doing things in MMORPG, and normally one character becomes like standout, freakishly strong at some point. Whether the anime or manga covers them leveling up, or whether it starts with them freakishly strong and then the server shutting down and they're trapped in the world.
Let's see. For Dark, like side stuff, ReZero definitely.
Yeah.
For more of the MMORPG kind of stuff, this is one where you actually can log out, but it's still pretty nice. Infinite
Dendrogram.
Dendrogram. There we go. Yeah. I cannot say names.
It's a complex word.
Yeah.
Some ones that I would suggest. Let's see here. Well, so I guess if you're looking for overpowered, like main villain, but also kind of like it's got good character and world development. I've recently been starting to read it, Berserk, but I would very much suggest you read it unless you're watching the '97 anime.
And even then, read it.
Honestly, just read it.
Berserk has not had the best history with getting anime adaptations.
No.
Hopefully that will change at some point.
Hopefully.
It is a well-loved series.
Yeah,
but at the moment, stick to reading it.
Yeah, for the moment,
Yeah.
stick to reading it.
If you do like the torture stuff of this thing, redo
Of a healer.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
I mean,
It's
okay,
very
you know
torture-y.
what? A similar, I guess, a kind of similar, kind of like funny but kind of dark thing going on. It'll be coming out either next season or the one after. But Make You No Company or Dungeon of Black Company is a kind of pretty funny isekai with a little bit of a darker tone. It's not quite the same. It's not like an MMO setting, but it's funny. I enjoy it.
What's coming out right now at time recording, 86. It's a very dark thing. I will probably recommend it for next season though. So
it's already in that.
Another suggestion might be Goblin Slayer. You might like Goblin Slayer if you like Overlord. If you like kind of more of the adventure aspect of like say like the first season and like kind of like some of the second season. You might like not Overlord, but Goblin Slayer.
I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
No, it's a TikTok. Okay, never mind. Yeah. I honestly, this is a solid continuation though of season 1. We've had a few shows now that we've done more than one submission on, right? And some of them have really had like been hit or miss depending. See what we've done 2 submissions of more than one submission of Katekyo Hitman Reborn.
Yeah.
One Piece, Fairy Tail, Fate in general. I'm just gonna put that in general.
Code
Geass, Katsuki no Yona. Now Overlord's added to that list. Oh, Kaguya-sama? No. We just
not
did
that
season
one
1.
yet.
Yeah,
Not
not yet. But and out of all the things that we've done, like more than one season of, a few of them did fall flat. So like,
I don't know. Generally, when I look back at them, all of them ended. They didn't necessarily fall flat. Whereas if anyone had any issues, that they stayed having issues going further.
One Piece got downgraded.
I thought One Piece stayed the same.
Nah,
No.
one person switched to a
I know
switch down.
Index fell down.
Yeah. So did
But also,
One Piece.
I think the one like
Not One Piece. Fairy Tail. Sorry, Fairy Tail fell by a category.
it.
Yeah, One Piece stayed, but that's because honestly, I have made the argument many times that 30 episodes of One Piece is not enough to judge One Piece on.
I don't think we've yet had a submission where like there's submissions where very clearly someone's tired of what the show is when it continues by the time we get to the next submission.
Katekyo.
No, Katekyo actually got better ratings as time went on. It would
Did
have
it?
gotten like 2 or 3
Huh.
shits when it started, and I think by the end it only has 1
Huh.
or 2.
Strange.
Knick-Knack, would you, as someone who has watched this series, suggest No Game No Life?
No, not at all. Very different series.
No,
All right.
way too different.
I watch it. It's a fun enough anime, I guess, but no, if for Overlord, it is not something I jump out of and say this is the next thing you should watch.
Yeah.
But I will say, and I think this is from all of us, if you like anime, watch Overlord. It's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
If you like fantasy, I think if you're
Dark
if you like
Dark
dark
fantasy.
fantasy,
It's not even that dark, honestly. If you like fantasy, go for it.
Well, it depends on if you're reading the story or watching it.
Yeah, but we're talking about watching.
Yeah, but
even watching though, past season 1 things do get a fair bit darker.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
And if you know what to look for, or like, and if you're one who likes to rewatch like seasons like this, you might start to pick up on more of the darker details of the series.
Yep.
Demiurge was not talking about sheep people.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he was not.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how I feel when I finish the novel that Nick Nack has so kindly provided me as a birthday gift.
I don't know. I don't think this is as universal as we're making it out to be. It's a great anime,
Yeah.
but I can see if you're just not a fan of fantasy or the current standard of anime fantasy, you might not enjoy this as much.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of suggested as kind of a coming from all of us, which is to me a pretty good standard of a more of an anime that'll appeal to a varied cast of people, because between the four of us, we each have our own kind of niche in terms of anime that we watch and choose to watch. Like even I think you and Realm and me and Vorn are maybe the closest to in terms of what we watch, and even we have differences between us.
But even going into the podcast, I think the biggest shared thing between us was we all watch at least a bit of Isekai or enjoy Isekai. One, you were probably the least
Not
familiar with
originally,
Isekai,
yeah.
generally speak, but that was a lot of your early introduction to it, not counting like the ancient stuff like I forget its name.
Inuyasha. Although Inuyasha is fucking great. Go watch it, people.
I mean, Inuyasha isn't really an isekai. It's just a back to the past kind of thing.
Yeah, but it technically lists as isekai these days sometimes.
Technically.
It gets put in isekai sometimes in the categories.
But I think there's definitely a sizable amount of the anime base that is not as big of, that is not particularly happy with a lot of isekai. And I don't think this series is going to.
I'm not trying to be politically correct here. I think based on the fact that all four of us like different types of anime, this is a pretty solid suggestion for anyone who's looking into watching Overlord and hasn't decided whether or not they do or don't anymore.
Yeah. Just warnings if you don't like dark stuff
at
all. It's.
But I mean, if you're already looking at Overlord, you know it's going to be a little dark. Like it's listed, you know.
Yeah.
Like you know it's not going to be happy-go-lucky. So I mean, my suggestion to watch it is more towards people who have considered it and haven't made that decision. Completely ignore the fan service in episode 1. I know it's horrific. I know it's horrendous. I know you won't want to watch the show after it, but just keep going. It gets better and it doesn't happen again.
Thank gosh.
I know, because like that, I was stuck for like a year and a half not watching any more than episode 1 of this show because of that. It was horrendous, but it gets better.
You're looking at me like I have something else to say.
I'm looking at that because you usually, I don't know.
I'm not gonna argue with that there.
I'm not looking for argument. I'm looking for you to like continue.
Oh,
I don't know. Oh, there we
Follow
go.
my example. Continue watching even though freaking it's absolute shit and you know it.
No, don't follow that example. Something shit you can drop.
Yeah, like redo of a healer.
Yeah,
Absolutely
no, I
drop that shit.
No, I'm talking about the what was
the fan service in episode 1, that weird bit.
No. I'm talking about what was that freaking brothel one?
Oh, Ishizoku reviewers.
Yeah! I watched all the way through it.
Okay, Ishizoku is different. Ishizoku is a masterpiece for people of taste.
Vorn just has no taste.
Exactly.
Vorn is not cultured enough.
Yeah. But okay, so next week we're gonna be back with Goblin Slayer season 1.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a season 2,
No,
right?
it
It's
doesn't.
just
No.
Goblin Slayer.
There's a season 2 confirmed.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna watch that. It'll be the last of Realm's pity submissions.
Yes.
Yep.
And after that, we've got a couple fun little bits for you that you'll get to see when they start coming out.
Yeah.
So have a nice week, chill out. It's maybe the beginning of school, maybe summer. I don't know.
Try harder, everyone.
See ya.